Come on, guys, can we just give Leo an Oscar already? It's getting ridiculous. The Revenant is directed by Alejandro. I can't say his last name. By Alejandro. And it stars Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hardy. And I'm just going to jump right in. I'm going to do a quick review on this. So I want to first stress the cinematography in this film, which is fantastic. Every single shot in this film is beautiful. Like, unbelievably beautiful. And a big part of that comes down to the way that it was lit. There's no artificial lighting in the entire film. It's all lit by the sun and the light around, campfire, which adds to the beauty of the film in general, but then it also allows for some beautiful shots to feel very realistic. But the cinematography goes beyond that, because in fight scenes, there's one very specific, and no spoilers, but one very specific, like, down and out fight in this film that is brutal and bloody and realistic, and it's even more realistic because the camera is following them in one long tracking shot, which is actually a trademark of this director, and it's the same director that made Birdman, and he really shows just how much long track shots can do in this film, especially in some of the action sequences where we have these very long sequences that are all shot in one long track shot, basically, which is incredible. Which leads me into the brutality, because the brutality in this film is insane. And most of the film isn't brutal. Most of the film is sort of, somebody's in pain and they're kind of limping around, and Leonardo DiCaprio just kind of grunts through the film, and he's in pain and he's limping and he's crawling, and he's, these sorts of things. But there are certain scenes that are just incredibly brutal, primarily because they're so realistic. Because we've seen things that are more brutal in a lot of films, but they're usually not very realistically done. Because we tend to see kind of the Tarantino treatment is what I'm calling it, which is sort of a over-the-top blood, over-the-top gore, cheesiness, all that kind of stuff. This doesn't have it. This is so realistic and so well done in that regard that it does seem very, very brutal. And that's going to lead me directly into the effects. The effects in this film are incredible, and there's not a lot of effects in this film. They did location shooting, they did also some of that. But as far as the blood effects, as far as the way that they handled the bears, any of the animals in this film, incredible, beautiful, and it's made even more incredible by how beautiful the cinematography is. These wonderful shots, beautiful landscape shots that allow for amazing CGI to come in and just deliver a beautiful scene. I'm not a big fan of CGI, but in this film it just works. There's not very much of it. It's used sparingly, and where it is used, it works, and it is incredible. To me, one of the most astonishing parts of this film is Leonardo DiCaprio's performance. And it's not really a new thing for him to do an incredible job in a film. He always does a great job. He's an incredible actor. But in this film, one of the things that blew me away is there wasn't much dialogue for him. Because one of the things that he does very well is put on a new accent that he just learned and go out there and just kind of do that accent and be that character and have it. In this film, almost all of his acting is body language and facial expressions, and he is incredible. The subtlety in his performance in this film, the things he's able to convey to the audience without any dialogue, is insane. I won't spoil why he doesn't talk most of the film, but it is amazing. His performance is very, very good. The score for this film is insane. I loved the score in this film. And I've been noticing that a lot with some films lately, these bigger, epic, big deal films. You'll hear scores that are incredible. In fact, I think for a long time we've heard scores that were kind of in a lot of films. The score in this film is insane. It is so good. It is such a great score. I was blown away by the score. More than anything else in this film, I was blown away by the score. And that's going to bring me to rewatchability. And this is something for me that I think is different than for a lot of people. I would never watch this film again, but not because it wasn't well made. Just because it's not my kind of film. This is not the kind of film that I particularly enjoy watching, so I'm glad I watched it once, and I really enjoyed watching it once. I don't think I would ever sit down and put it on again. That being said, it is, I'm sure, very rewatchable to people that like this kind of film, because like I said, this is an incredible film. Every single piece of it is perfectly made. It is an amazing film. It's just not particularly my type of film, so I don't know I'd ever watch it again. I think there are a lot of people that would. I just don't think I'm one of them. But the biggest problem with rewatchability for me in this film is it is overlong. It felt like it was dragging. The pacing was kind of off in a few parts, but I couldn't think of a scene or a moment that should really be cut to fix that problem. So I don't know how they would adjust that. It just felt like it dragged in certain parts for me. But overall, guys, I'm going to give it an A. It was an incredible film and an amazing experience to see in theaters. Even if you're not a fan of this kind of film, watch The Revenant in theaters because it will blow you away. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. I'll see you next time.